The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is our number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Matt Gutchess. He's the promoter of the Oneida Lake Walleye Fest. We'll talk with Chad Tolhurst. He's the owner of K9 Camp Dog Daycare. And then Sean Dupree stops by, owner of Top Notch Roofing. Finally, we'll wrap things up with Randy King, the director of Drumlin's Country Club, and we'll see what's happening over there for the upcoming season. Right now, Steve, it's our pleasure to bring back onto the show Matt Gutchess, promoter of the Oneida Lake Walleye Fest. How are you there, Matt?
I'm fantastic. Thank you guys for having me. I always love coming here. This is such a great interview. You guys are wonderful.
Yes.
And you talk to everybody. And you talk to everybody. Like just that list of who's on today's show.
It's a
pretty
people.
Diverse group of people here in Central New York. And this really is a great outlet for local business owners like myself.
Well, thank you very much for that. So, Matt, how's the lake look right now? I live 5 minutes away for 30 years, and I haven't been over to the lake lately.
Well, we had a real winter again this year in Central New York.
Yeah.
We had ice fishing season. It really was condensed. Some years in the old days it would start in before Christmas. This year it was right after Christmas.
Right.
All of January, all of February were really good ice, good conditions.
How do you ice fish? I never asked you that.
I do, and I only got out about 3 times this year. But that was partially because what we're going to lead into talking about is Walleye Fest.
Yeah.
I've been working on the app that we created for our Walleye Fest tournament since last September. And this winter was really crunch time. And so my contracting business slowed down, but I was still working 12 hours a day in the office on the app.
Jeez.
So I only got out 3 times all year, did catch a few perch.
I was going to ask you, have you heard, did the perch pirates go crazy? Was there a lot of perch this season?
Yeah.
Ice fishing wise?
Yeah. I think, and same with the walleye. I mean,
really? Yeah, good.
But you had your hardcore ice fishermen that had been sidelined for 3 years.
Yeah, right. Basically,
everybody and their brother. And it was wonderful from a local business perspective to see all of these tackle shops locally that had this stock in inventory and ice fishing gear finally be able to move it after 3 years and sell it and get it out there, and people were all about it. I mean, it really was nice to see it.
That's good.
That leads us into, like you said, about how's the lake now.
Yeah.
Well, ice has been gone since the beginning of March when we had that warm, windy couple days. Week or so. Water temperature's rising. It's in the low 40s. Mm-hmm. We're right on track. The hatchery in Constantia, they got all the fish they needed in late March with the netting program right on schedule. Matter of fact, most all of those fish in Scriber Creek have backed out already. Is that water warmed? You're starting to see smallmouth come into the shallows to start spawning. So we're right on track. It's going to be an amazing spring, and we're less than 2 weeks away. Next Thursday is the official opening day of walleye season, May 1st. Mm-hmm. And of course, Saturday and Sunday is the opening weekend. That's our Walleye Fest Derby. So
beautiful.
We're right on schedule, and the weather looks good. The long-term forecast looks good.
Excellent.
Yeah,
let me ask you this: would you ever use a Swedish pimple off the boat in deep water?
Absolutely.
You would? Okay.
Absolutely. In the old days, like a Swedish pimple or a Rapala jigging wrap, everybody thought those were exclusive ice fishing baits.
Yeah.
That's not the case. And a matter of fact, the jigging wrap casted in open water is probably more popular now than it ever was through the ice.
Interesting.
The Swedish pimple's the same thing, a Castmaster, those big heavy metal spoons, absolutely can use that any time of year.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell us about the tournament.
The tournament. This is our 3rd year doing it. It's carrying on the tradition of the opening weekend derby that started back in 1979. This is our third year doing it, and I've made changes every year, right, wrong, or indifferent. And this year we came out with our own app because the first year we had weigh-in stations that were at local businesses and tackle shops, but then you would have to transport that fish from the lake to the shop, and most of those big fish that we were entering were being killed.
Yeah.
And that didn't sit well with me after that first year. So the second year, last year, we moved them from the tackle shops to the boat ramps. So at least it was in super close proximity, and you could bring that fish in, have it entered, and then if you wanted to release it, you could put it back in the water.
Yeah.
And again, that still didn't quite mesh for me. So we designed an app, and we're not the only app in this category.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones that have been out for years. Kayak bass fishermen, tournament bass fishermen that do it out of the kayaks, came up with this catch, photograph, and release because they don't have room for a live well on their kayaks.
Right.
So you couldn't put their fish in a live well and then bring them to a weigh station later on because they had no live well. So
makes sense.
They catch the fish, they put it on a bump board, which is a ruler with a right angle at one end. So the fish's nose bumps up against the board.
So you measure it. So
you get an accurate measurement every time. You pinch the tail together, and that's your measurement. And so that's how the kayak guys were doing it. So we adapted that into our own model. So now every fish that you enter into the derby, which it's a big fish derby. So if Steve catches a 22-incher 8 o'clock Saturday morning, he enters that fish. That fish, because it's entered, has to be released as part of our program. If you catch 25 other ones that are 15 to 18 inches, you can keep whatever you want according to your limit in the New York State. That's up to you. But that one fish that gets entered, those big ones, which are typically always females and may still be spawning even that first weekend in May, we put them back. Gotcha. And that's a conservation mind. We're the users of these resources. So we as the angler should be ensuring that these resources survive. Yeah. And especially in my opinion, when there's money involved in a sport fishing tournament, then I think every care should be taken to put those biggest of big fish back healthily and quickly.
So if families, this is an everybody come on into the tournament kind of an event.
Yeah, we have 8 different categories, 2 for youth only, 17 and under, longest walleye, longest perch. We have a women's only division, a men's only division, an open division, which is the main leaderboard. We have one for the military veteran first responders. Oh, wow. And a matter of fact, that's the number 4 board. We as Walleye Fest give all of our proceeds to the 2 officers that lost their life in the line of duty last year.
Yes.
We donated to that over $1,200 last year. This year, a new sponsor, Empower Federal Credit Union, came on board with a huge raffle that we're going to be raffling off, and all proceeds of that go to the Syracuse PBA in the name of those 2 officers.
Awesome.
So big fishing tournament coming up. It's a tournament. It's walleye. It's all here. All that information can be found at Oneida Lake Walleye Fest Derby.
And we'll shorten that because we also have the domain name just walleyefest.com.
Oh, good. Yeah. Very nice.
So they can find that Oneida Lake Fishing Tournament. They can sign up, get involved. And
there's going to be a bunch of entertainment as well.
Yeah, you've got all kinds of things going on.
Sunday, real quick, May 4th at Bruton Speedway, under the tents, rain or shine. We've got a free fish fry for contestants. We have 2 different live bands, JP Shaggy and the Grizzly Ridge Band.
Right.
We have vendors. We have all kinds of stuff.
Excellent.
And that's open to the public.
Awesome. Walleye Festival. Tom?